My name is Sarah Moon. I teach Algebra 2 and I teach college algebra at Pike Central. And several years ago, I think about 5 years ago, I began teaching college algebra through the Morehead State University's early college program. And when I started with that program, it was my first touch really of using computer technology and computer software along with my students on really a daily basis. And we had videos provided to us from the professor at Morehead who had developed the course that our students could go in and watch the video from the professor, and then that would aid them in doing their work. And I found that it was so incredible at how students could just take that and move with it so quickly through the curriculum and efficiently, and they didn't necessarily need me for everything. So I began being interested in flipping in my regular Algebra 2 classes. So my population in Algebra 2 is quite different than my population in college algebra. My Algebra 2 classes are seniors, mostly. Some are juniors. My Algebra 2 classes are not honors classes. I do not teach any of the honors Algebra 2 classes at our school. I have 4 class periods. It's approximately 100 students, is a little more than that. But 2 of those 4 classes are inclusion classes. Motivation. So my focus then becomes on student engagement. How do I engage these students who are not so interested in learning, and how might I use video technologies to help improve engagement, which would then improve, hopefully, their learning. So my research question was, how might using video technologies and a flipped classroom approach improve student engagement and increase student achievement in Algebra 2? We know this is a problem because in the 2014-15 school year, which when I wrote this, the latest data wasn't released, only 38% of students in Kentucky and 35.3% of students in my school scored at the proficient or distinguished level in Algebra 2. And 38% statewide just tells you that it's a problem everywhere, so we need to be looking for ways to innovate in Algebra 2. And specifically, our students who are in honors courses, those are the kids who are reaching proficient and distinguished. So it's the innovation with these lower end students that is where we really need to be experimenting. So I'm experimenting with a flipped classroom. The resources I requested with the grant money were an iPad mini. With the iPad mini, I just used it's a $3.99 app, maybe $4.99 or $5.99, but Explain Everything is the app that I use for creating the videos. I can create videos from anywhere. I can be at my house working on the video while my boys are in the room next door playing or watching TV. So it's really conducive to being able to take it with you and work on it. So I use, that's why I chose to use the iPad for creating the videos, because it's so mobile. I've requested 3 Lenovo Chromebooks. I have a classroom set of Chromebooks, but only 25 come in a classroom set, so the desire to have enough Chromebooks for everyone to have a machine to make a one-to-one classroom, this would aid me in that. And then some good high-quality styluses, because I cannot write on the iPad with my finger. Some people do it, but I need a really good stylus to make the videos really legible and able for my students to understand and read. And then, of course, an OtterBox for the iPad to create the videos. So my action plan is to, where I'm going to create, my action research will be flipping one specific unit. And what I'll be doing in the unit is having the students view teaching videos that are created by me. I'm not going out and finding something on YouTube that somebody else made. I'm creating the video. The students see my face, they hear my voice, they hear the language that I use in class, they'll hear it, them when they come back to class. As far as getting the videos out to students, I experimented with this last year as well. And I tried to go with the flipped classroom textbook approach. Students are to watch the video outside class, and then they come to class the next day, and you essentially do what you would have done for homework, but you're doing it in class. So that's where I started with this last year. We're going to have a flipped classroom. It's your job to watch the video at home. Then you come to class, and you're going to do your homework in class. And would you imagine that that went really well with my student population? The answer is no, big no. My students do not want to do anything outside of class. They don't do homework outside of class because they get somebody's homework that somebody did, and then they take a picture of it and they text it to each other, and then they all write it down, and then the ones that really care write it down and turn it in, and the rest of them don't turn it in anyway. So they don't really want to do anything outside of class. So that was a big flop. So that was the flip-flop. So now this year this is still a flipped classroom project because I'm still using the ideas from it, but I'm calling it really in my classroom, well, in my own head, it's a flip-flop approach because my flip-flopped, and so I'm flopping the videos back into the classroom. So it's a flip-flop back into the classroom. So we're watching the videos in class. They are short. But by showing my videos in class, I thought, well, what's the point? Because I could stand up there and do it. Number one, I'm standardizing what my students hear from class to class. I'm able to really plan and think about what I want to say in the lesson, and I say it on the video, and I know I don't leave anything out. Number two, when I turn that video on, the kids are listening, and I don't know why, because I'm so fun to listen to live. But when I turn the video on, they listen more. And so then I learned, well, if I'm going to play this video in class, I can interact with myself. And I've cloned myself. So I'm asking a question on the video to myself, and then the live me will answer the question. So that's kind of engaging because it's really just silly. And they're waiting to see what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. And there was something else. When they're watching the video in class, I am not standing at the whiteboard. I am beside them in walking the rows. And so it makes me, instead of being really separated from the kid in the back, I'm standing beside them to make sure that they're paying attention and that they're awake and that they're taking notes and they're trying. And it also enables me to see, okay, they need some more time to write this down. I can pause the video, stop, discuss where we need to. There are times that I would want them to pause and try something on their own. When they were watching the video outside class, they were just fast forwarding to where I had it worked out and then clicking pause and writing it down. So, and I'm about to go over time, I can tell. So anyway, I'm doing this flip-flop approach this year. I'm not saying I'm going to play all the videos in class, but that's going to be the general idea of what I go with. I still may ask them to watch some videos outside class. I still may have them do some in groups where I just launch an idea and have them discuss in a small group situation. And then I'm going to compare unit test scores from traditional teaching, which would be from 2 years ago, because last year I tried the flip that flopped. 2 years ago, I'll look at my traditional teaching of this unit versus this year, which is my improved flip. And then I'm going to also administer a student engagement survey because I want to hear student voice on how they feel about how they learned and how involved they were in their learning process. So my videos are all stored on or housed in YouTube, but they're linked from my teaching website, moonmath.webs.com, if you want to check any of it out. There are some mathematical errors in some of the videos. That's okay. My students catch it and we correct it in class. So I promise I know what 2 + 4 is, and sometimes I mess that up. So anyway, are there any questions?